really focus on is where, what, how, and why to post to social media. We're going to look at a lot of examples. We're going to look at some concrete things that you can do today. You will have access to a guide that shows you if you have zero social media presence. We're going to give you a guide that actually all you have to do is click on a few links for Facebook and learn how to set up your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Business. If you wanted to do TikTok, I think we have that on there, Pinterest. And so all of those platforms that we're going to touch on today, you'll have a guide to set that up. We're actually going to kick off today, game show time. So one of the prizes we're going to give out today, actually, we're going to give out two of these prizes, but it's a Chick-fil-A $10 gift card. So we're going to email that over to you if you get this right, and or the closest to this answer. In the number of minutes per day, what is the number of minutes an average adult uses social media across all platforms? We're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide, and then I'll come back and give you the actual answer. And it all relates into what we're looking at here today. I also want to give you a little teaser for kind of the end of class, just so that you definitely want to pay attention to everything here. So this was a Facebook for sale video that was run on Facebook. And I want to show you this video performance over here. So there were 2,000 total video plays, 389 through plays, meaning the person watched the entire video of this video here. Now, if you had to guess, just you can put it in the chat box, or you can hold it up some numbers, or you can come off of mute and say it. How much money do you think it costs to run this ad to be able to get 2,000 video views? Almost 400 people will actually watch the entire video. What do you think the total dollar amount was to have this run? And it was paid. There is a dollar amount. This wasn't organic.
$50.
So that seems to be the consensus in the chat box is 30, 50, 20. And then somebody's got like a per day guess, 100. So this ad actually cost $15 to run. It was just for a short period of time. So you can see the graph down here. It was just for maybe, it looks like for 24 hours or maybe even 48 hours. But for $15, 400 people almost watched the entire video. Almost 2,000, that it started to play the video. And so this was a big reach. And if you look at that cost per result, 4 cents, per actual view of the entire video. So, what we're talking about today is actual concrete things you can do as agents to be able to generate leads, because there are different things you can do, drive them back to a website, ask for registration to see the property, or whatever your end goal is. But the worst case scenario is now you take this to your next listing and you say, my last listing I had 400 people watch the video, 2,000 started to watch the video. And so I got it out there to all of these people, right? So you can get all of that going. And I know we're going to have some questions about, sharing listings and things like that. We'll definitely talk about that today, because that is a hot topic. So if it's not your listing, how can you maybe market that? So just want to show you that's what's upcoming in this class. We'll look at a few more examples when we get there, but just want to show you why it's important to at least know that this is available. You may pay someone to do these things for you in social media, but if you know it, at least you know how much those types of things should cost, right? All right. So are there too many to keep up with? We just did that poll where most of us were on, probably 2 or 3 really platforms, and then a few were on some other platforms. So, but are there too many to keep up with? And so today what we're going to do is focus on where to post in the real estate world. So, you may have social platforms and things like that for you personally, for whatever, your hobbies are. But today we're going to really focus on, for real estate agents, where's the biggest bang for your buck? Where's the biggest reach? And really, where are the eyes at? Where are the eyes focused on from the population? So we talked about where are you, socially, and where are they? We're about to look at some stats, but these are the 3 we're really going to focus on today: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Facebook, you can still post, words. You can also post pictures, obviously, right? Instagram's a little more picture heavy, actually a lot more picture heavy, but you can still post words. And then YouTube is our videos, right? But you can also put that same video on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. So we're going to really look at repurposing content. How do you make sure that you're in all of those places? So just like you did today, we talked about the top platforms. This is the percent of US adults who say they ever use those platforms. Facebook and Instagram are up there, and actually YouTube is higher. Now that's just using. So if I had asked you that question, we probably would have mirrored this, that you've actually ever used those platforms. But we were talking about specifically where do you have a page or that presence on. You can look down here. Pinterest comes in right next. This one is a 2021 data set, so TikTok's a little lower. It probably is somewhere in this realm if you took this poll today. Most popular social networks worldwide as of January 2022, and you can see Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, and then Instagram. WhatsApp, a little more of a messenger, type app. So we're not going to focus on that today, but we're really going to, again, focus on these top three main social platforms. So we're going to jump into, think that banner ad will work. Well, of course, I wrote click here, right? So, you can obviously do that. That's a very clear, what they call call to action. Click here to see homes, click here to do that. But we're going to look at some content of what to post on any of these platforms that we run across today. The first question that we normally hear is, I don't know what to post. And that's kind of, that can be a hindrance, right? For people jumping into social media. Maybe it's your first time, you just created your Facebook business page and you're thinking, well, I don't know what to post. What do I put on there? Or you might say, I don't have anything worth posting, right? Maybe you say, I have that listing, but the pictures look okay. I wasn't really happy with them. I don't really know what I should post on there. And so what we're going to talk about today are the sources you already have access to be able to post and where they come from. Number one is going to be pictures of homes and listings. That's what people really want to see when they are looking on the internet, right? When they're on Facebook, Instagram, and then on YouTube for video. If it's real estate related, they typically want to look at the house. Look at this great pool, look at this great kitchen, this backyard view, this drone, footage or whatever comes from there. But you can already share pictures of homes and listings, either yours, or we'll talk about how to share listings within Solid Source, but you already have access to that right now. And now this source says your website. Today, we're going to focus on two different websites. One is KV Core that we offer here, and the other is your website that's included inside of Remind. And so if you want a very, very basic website that you can share some things from, Remind has that answer. If you want a more advanced feature that also includes a CRM, KV Core has that answer. You may have your own outside of any of those two, and so you'll just be able to follow along with yours. But that's going to be your first place to think about, is sharing pictures of homes and listings from your website, regardless of where you get that website. The next one is image of the day. So every morning you should get an email that says agent icon image of the day, and you can go download that. It has the Solid Source logo. You can share that. It's typically a general idea in real estate, and so that's a great one. It's already social ready, meaning the format, the page, pixel size is already ready to go in Facebook and Instagram. And so we'll show you in a few seconds how easy it is to just take that and post it. But there's your second idea that you already get every day. If you are not getting that email or you don't know where to find it, please check your junk folder first and just look for, every day about 6 to 7 a.m. there should be an email in there. Move it out of junk. It's available. It's ready to go. You don't have to do any doctoring to the photo or editing, which is fantastic. Just copy paste, put it in social media and promote yourself. Next thing is listing updates. So we talked about image of the day. Listing updates is kind of the next thing, right? You have a listing, you send a picture, and now you get a suite of photos back. And for those who've never done that, don't worry, we're going to do it towards the end of this class today all together, just so you can see how easy it is. But really, you're going to get things like that. That picture in the background was a picture of a home, texted to this service, and then you're going to get back that picture with coming soon, open house, just listed, congratulations, all of those type things that you can then take to social media market. So there are three things right there that you already have access to either through your current website, Remind, KV Core, and then Agent Icon that you get every day. And the other thing is for listing updates is list reports. So we had a video and a sales meeting where we went over list reports a few months ago, I think maybe 3 months ago. And we have a video on our YouTube channel about that, but you have access to list reports today if you go create your complimentary account, and you can put your listing right into that service and it's going to create flyers for you. A lot of people use that for print, but you can use it for social media. You already have an account, or you can have an account, within just a few minutes after this class. Market stats within Vision. So we have the little videos. So you can see on the screen there that just recycles all of the content in a nice little video form. So it's eye-catching. It's for your specific counties that you're marketing in. We post those every month. As soon as the data comes out, it comes out about mid-month, and we'll go post that data in for those specific counties. Now, if you jump in there, and we actually had someone, I think on this call today, asked me for another county, and so we went and added that county into that feed. So if you see a county that you service that's not on there, just let us know. We're here to help. We're going to populate that for you. If you work a multitude of counties, maybe 4 counties, you don't want to put each one up on your social page. We do one for Greater Atlanta, and so you can just share that one, or you can share, Cobb County today, Fulton County tomorrow, or next week, or whatever it is, and stagger those and really specifically hone in on those counties. So again, something that you already have, it's in Vision for that. Next thing is buyer and seller guides, also on Vision. So you've got a buyer guide and a seller guide 4 times per year updated. You can share that as a social media function, and then they can download it. You can actually upload a file into social media like Facebook, and they can download that, or you can host it on your website, and now they click there and it goes back and they're on your website. So that's another nice thing. The last thing is personal interest and hobbies. Obviously, you're still a person, and people want to know you and get to know you, especially as they're working, on one of the largest purchases or sales that they'll probably make in their life. And so we definitely recommend sharing some personal things, hobbies, interests, to your pages. So not 100% about business, but not 100% personal, right? There needs to be a good mix there, and there's debate on what that percentage is. But if you have a business page and you're, somewhere in the probably 70-30, 70 business, 30 personal, or 80-20, I think personally that's a good mix, but it's all about you and what you're doing and who your audience is. So you can see from the green box there, all of those things are heavy content, a lot of information for clients, but things that you, again, have either quick access to in Vision, Agent Icon, information, or you can have access to like list reports right after this class. All right, so if you think about it, you've got a lot of different sources here: website, Agent Icon, list reports, market stats, the guides, community info, celebrating people, clients, closings, and things like that, and then about you. And this is just a visual representation of, a way to think about it. You have all these sources. You want to put it into the funnel of, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And really what you're trying to do is come out the other side and build where that person, knows, likes, and trusts you, right? That's kind of the core pieces there, genuinely, that they know, like, and trust you, right? And so if you think about it in those terms, it's 1, 2, 3, right? You're taking the information, you're putting it into the platforms, and you're building an audience out of that. Kind of an easier way to think about it is, if you've got all these ingredients, right? You're making cookies. You have all these ingredients. You put them in the mixer, put it in the oven, and out comes the cookie, right? So that's kind of the goal. We want to break it down to make it not something that seems so daunting and that's going to take you forever to do, because it will not. We'll show how quickly you can do this. But just think about that. You have your source, your information, your content, you're putting it into the social media, and over time, you will build that know, like, and trust. It is not overnight, right? I think we've probably all tried social media maybe the first time for business and said, well, I only got 1 lead, or I got no leads, or 2 people saw it, or 1 person liked it and no comments. Well, that's 1 post, right? It can take a long time to do that. But just think about it as a building process. The more time you spend, doing that and building that know, like, and trust, the better it's going to be for your business long term. So that's what we're going to focus on. All right. So for leads, I think that's what probably all of us are looking for. So why do we want to post, right, for leads? And we're going to look at again some data here that shows what that really looks like. Cost per click, right? So for Facebook, look how low, just over, this is over a period of a year and a half, so about 18 months. The cost per click for ads for Facebook down here come out to around 49 recent, but still always in that 30 to 40, cents range. And Instagram is more in the 90 cents and up to $1.09. So a little bit more expensive to get that Instagram click, cost per click, but this also doesn't factor in the quality, right? That's kind of a whole nother study. You might receive higher quality clicks on Instagram, but you're going to get more for your money in Facebook. The good news is that the way Facebook works, because they own Instagram, you can actually set your post to go to both of them through Facebook. Through Facebook, you can choose to send it also to Instagram. So, you can just share the same thing if you want to. You can make it a little different for Instagram, and we'll show how to do that really easily, actually, in just a second. So we looked at this example, $15 for that one, right? So now let's look at an Instagram post. So this was an open house. These are actual ads that were run when I was helping buyers and sellers, right? So this is not this is not made up stuff to make this class feel better. But so this open house Instagram ad was ran. You can see here, and all the numbers are here. The results: 27 post engagements. So that means someone engaged with this post. There were 27 of those. It reached 500 people and 540 impressions, meaning 540 views of this at 37 cents per post engagement for a whopping $10. So, those are your big metrics for something like this. $10 for an open house ad. So you do not have to spend tons of money to get a lot of, quick impressions. You can run this on Thursday or Friday, open house is Saturday, and, at least have some traffic. Number one, hopefully that they end up coming to the property. But number two, it can be things that you can share with a future seller, right? So keep all that in mind. This is not just for that property. Things are flying off the shelf, for the last few months, and we know that. But let's don't let that be the reason that we do or don't spend, to be able to boost things and really boost your business, because they're going to see your name, in the top left of the ad. They're going to see the property and a beautiful picture of the property, your advertisement, your information. So you've got a lot of things happening all at once, right? That you can use to boost a business. So what about if you do not have a listing, or you're just wanting to share some other information? Well, Facebook makes it really easy to build out. It's like a slideshow, right? It's not really a video. It's still photos with information over the top. So, buy and sell with confidence is on this one, and it's a little video. Let our experience and support help you type thing. So a general real estate video. This one had 344 post engagements. So really low, 4 cents per engagement, with a result rate of 40%. So of the people that saw it, that's how many people engaged with it, with 746 total plays of this video. So really low cost of process here at $13.30. Sometimes you can run it for specific money. Sometimes you say run it for a specific time, and it just calculates how much money you want to spend with the time, and that's why it comes out to numbers like that. But you can see again in the tens of dollars to be able to run this and reach a lot of people with a general real estate ad. And then what you'll do with that is put your website in there, so that when they click either on the picture or inside the post, they end up on your website, right? And so that's where you really want to get there. Facebook has a lot of stock images when you go build your ad. And you can use in the ad itself, it will say use stock images, and you can just use those. Or there's another website, I'll put it in the chat box right here for you. It's called pixabay.com. There's another one called unsplash.com. So both of those websites I just put in the chat box. You can actually go download what they call royalty free. So you're not ripping off, someone's photo that they're going to come back and say, hey, you used my picture, now you owe me $10,000, which happens, right? So that's why we're not listing other people's pictures from a listing, either in the new listing we have, or sharing it on social media, because it is copyrighted, actually. So those two websites you can go to and download pictures, but inside of Facebook, when you build, it will say, do you want to use stock images? And then you can go in their database of free pictures and use there. And then you just type what you want over the top of it with emojis or whatever, and it will do those slides. And so I'll show you where to do that. It's really, really easy. Facebook just listed. So let's look at what an example of that might be. New listing, just listed. And now you come over and look at the stats here. 105 link clicks at 18 cents. So, again, really high link click, 1,400 impressions. So 1,400 people at least had this on their feed. Maybe they didn't eyeball look at it, but it was there as they were scrolling through at 18 cents a click. And so again, $20 for this one. So I think that's the most on any of these that we're showing today that was spent. Obviously, if you double, quadruple, times 5 that number, you should expect, larger and larger results. So it's up to you for what you're promoting, what your budget is. Maybe you're starting out new, you have your first listing, you have really nice photos of that property. You really want to get your name out there. You really want to maximize so that you can build it to get your next listing. And so maybe you spend a little bit more, right, on that one than maybe you normally would based on the price point of the house, but you're using it so that when you get this data back, and it's really easy to get this information, you'll have it right there on your page. Now you can use that in your next listing presentation, right? So you go over the Cloud CMA with them, but hey, I just want to let you know, this is what happened in the last listing I had. I sent it out, 1,400 people saw it. Maybe yours has 3,000 people saw it, right? And they don't, your client doesn't, have to know how much you spent on it. It's really results driven, right? It's all based on that information. And so that's impressive to any seller, especially if not every agent is bringing that information, right? Most sellers know that a lot of the eyes are in social media, for these things. Okay, so what about one of the things you can download off of Vision? So take, for example, that buyer or seller guide. You can have that as kind of a giveaway, right? Free home seller guide for you. Download this, buyer guide. You can put that into a Facebook ad and have it as a download. So now they click that, they download it, they have this information. You can actually take that buyer and seller guide and put it into a PDF edit software or like PowerPoint, and add your picture, onto the bottom with your information. So now when somebody downloads that buyer or seller guide from Vision, it has your information on there. And so, use those for your advantage. They are there for that reason. But let's just take a look at the results here. So we had 12 link clicks, 2,800 people saw it, and per link click, it cost 82 cents. So again, very low cost. It cost $9.84 to run that ad. And now, 12 people downloaded a buyer guide. Well, this was a seller guide, and it had, an agent's information on that seller guide. So, really actual retail price of these 5 ads, $68.14. We had almost 7,000 impressions across all of those, and almost 900 link clicks or fully watched videos just from those 5 ads. And those are just 5 random examples that I wanted you to see. So for $68, for less than $70, all 5 of those ads were run and reached all of those people with that information. So I want to show you why, and then we're going to go look at how to do this, because we don't want to make this too complicated. We want to make it as easy as possible, because it is, even though you might hear, hey, it's really difficult, you should pay me, $5,000 to run these ads for you. So let's look at that piece. So we don't want to pay a lot of money to an advertising firm. You can, not knocking it, but at least if you know how much it costs to do that stuff, then you can learn how to advertise yourself. So how are we going to post this information? Let's look at it from the most basic 1, 2, 3 understanding as possible. But if you have a Facebook personal page and you've always thought, well, I'll just advertise, or get information out to my audience through my personal page. The reason you would want to have a Facebook business page is that you cannot run ads on your Facebook personal page. And so if you want to be able to do all of the things we're looking at today, you have to have a Facebook business page. Plus, in today's world, and probably for the last 7-8 years, if you have a question about working with anybody or finding the best pizza place, or landscaper, or lawyer or doctor or wherever, the first thing most of us do is go to Google or some other search platform, type in their name, or doctor in Lawrenceville or whatever it is, and look who pops up. And so one of the top things that pops up is a Facebook business page, right? Typically, you'll have whatever field, maybe it's Zillow for real estate, which you want to be there too. But Facebook typically pops up, Google Business pops up because it's Google. And so we'll talk about Google Business later. But making sure you have presence. Typically 2 or 3 times people want to see, you actually have a business presence at the top of that search engine. And so one of the easiest ways is through Facebook, to have that. They have great reach, great search results. It's really easy to set it up. It makes you look even more professional. And so, and then now you can run ads and, pay and reach a larger audience. And even if you don't want to pay for ads, even if you just want to post organic because you have a great audience, you can at least see analytics on here. How many people looked at it? How many people clicked on it, went to this website? So it's a great thing to have, even if you don't want to do the ad part of Facebook. So let's go look at 1, 2, 3. You're on your Facebook business page. Again, I'm going to share a guide with you at the end of class where it'll walk you through how to make a Facebook business page. So don't worry about that. But let's assume you have your Facebook business page. You're ready to go. All you do is click Create Post. This screen will pop up just like this. You write something, type something right in the box, right? New listing coming up in Alpharetta. Download this great buyer guide, whatever it is, you'll have it here, and you can add different things, pictures, messenger. There's I think a thing in here where you can do polls and share a file like that buyer guide. So you're going to type your information in there, and then all you're going to do is just click post. That's it. So for those who haven't done it, who maybe thought it was a little bit more complicated than that, it's not. That is it. Type your information in there, share some great listings or some great information about the market or whatever that you have on that business page, and click post. That's it. Let's look at Instagram. Same thing. Instagram is more mobile friendly. Get your Facebook right, and then worry about Instagram. Don't try to tackle both if it seems overwhelming for you. Just focus on the Facebook. You can always do Instagram later. If you've already established your Facebook business and you don't have Instagram business, then go do that next, right? That's kind of your next level step there. But this one's easy. You click plus sign up here on your phone. This is a phone screenshot. And then you click post, and then you'll do the same thing. You'll share, it'll say add a photo, do a live video, whatever you want to do there, and type some information about it, new listing, whatever you have. Now you might be using the things like you had on Agent Icon. Well, that's as simple on your phone as having it downloaded. Click your email. You see the picture in your actual email. You hold it down, save it, copy it, whatever it is in your phone. And then when you go to Instagram, you'll be able to just hit the plus sign, and hopefully it saves it as a photo. And then you just share that photo, that Instagram Agent Icon photo. Same thing on Facebook. You've saved it maybe on your computer. You're doing Facebook. All you do is add photo and bring in that Agent Icon picture that you downloaded to your computer. So there's the Agent Icon pieces. You can obviously share websites and things like that on Facebook. Instagram's a little trickier. They won't let you share those types of things in the notes. You actually have to share it in your biography page, your profile page. I'll show you a little bit of that, but that's kind of probably our next social media class. We'll jump into that type of thing. But for today, we wanted to focus on 1, 2, 3, click here, post, type your information, and then click the post button. This section, we're actually going to talk about your website. Now, if you have a website that is not IDX searchable, so meaning a person cannot go to your website and search for properties, this part is not for you. You may want to look at something additional into that if you want to do what we're about to look at. If you have a website and it's a nice website, there are a lot more of those popping up in real estate where there's no way to search for properties. It's just about you, the agent. That's great. I actually love a lot of those websites. However, to be able to do what we're going to talk about here to get leads, you do have to have an IDX feed. You can get that through Remind through their free and complimentary website. Georgia MLS has one too, or KV Core or your other website that you may already have. So we're going to look at it from KV Core website because that's what we have here in the house. And so this is what a standard website would look like. You can customize, but right here, you'll see there's a search bar. So right there is where you'll type that address right into that search bar and you'll have the page for that home. So this is the page for that home. Here's the information. The client will be able to scroll down through there. All that you have to do from here, you see this green arrow, is just click and highlight this entire search bars, called the URL. So copy the URL. So that's kind of step. This whole thing right here is step one. We'll recap it. Go to your website, search for your listing, highlight and copy this URL. Okay. So everybody got me? That's where we're at. We went to the website, found it, copy that URL. Next step. Now we're going to go open up our Facebook account or the tab or wherever you're at inside of Facebook. We're going to actually paste that URL that we took from our website with that home right there. Just put it, so you put it right here where it says write something on your page. So we're posting it there. It's going to populate this picture, the link. And so now when somebody clicks that picture, it's going to go back to that website page, your website page. But how do we make this look even nicer? Well, we're actually going to delete out after it populates. This is I see this kind of trip people up. We pasted the URL, look in that middle picture, but then on the right side, you can see we actually, once it populates that picture, that image, that website, we're going to delete out this URL, okay? It's going to keep everything the way it is, but it's going to make it look nicer. And now we can go in that empty text box and go type about that property. Just listed, stunning 5-bed, 4-bath, whatever you want to say about it. Text me to see this home today, or click the picture to go there, or click this link. You can put a link in there. The problem with the link is that it just doesn't look quite as professional as the picture, the same picture in the same link with words from you. And so that's just a way to do that. It's very easy to do. Go try it today. But now what do? We can do a couple things. We can just post in the orange box down there, or we can boost the post. Now, that is the easy button for you to advertise. If you are listing this property and you just took it from your website, now what happens if you boost post, it's going to say, what audience, where do you want to share it? Typically people will say in a, large location around the listing, but you can really share it, all of Georgia if you wanted to, or something like that. We'll go over some guidelines for that. You want to be careful because you are advertising real property. And so there are a lot of guidelines when it comes to that. So your audience has to be as vague as possible. And it's going to show you that where you can kind of drill down in age and things like that. But you want to keep it wide open, gender wide open, everything wide open. The only thing, you really want to focus on is location, because, if you're sharing this property, you probably don't want to share it in Savannah. You might want to, maybe, but I probably wouldn't spend my money, sharing it way outside of the area that this property's in. So anyway, so that's if you do the boost post. All you do is just click that little tab. It's going to turn it on and then pop up and say where and who do you want to share it to, and then you'll hit post. If you don't want to boost it, you just hit post. So let's look at this recap, and I'll tell you why this is a big win for you. So you go on your Facebook, you're pasting it, you're deleting the URL after it populates, and the optional boost at the same time. So when someone clicks on that picture in this instance, they're going to be on this page, right? They're going to go right here. They're going to start looking at pictures. They're going to look at the description. Maybe they go over and they look at another picture or another listing. They're like, oh, well, this one's great, but there are similar listings, and it has that at some part over I think on the main page. Or if they get back to the main page, now they're searching all of Gwinnett County. Well, once they look at two properties on this KV Core website, it's built in to pop up and say, hey, we want you to have great access to all of these listings. Please enter your email address as your login name. And so it's going to essentially force create a login for that person. So, they'll put in an email address, their phone number will be the password, and now they are inside of your CRM system in KV Core. So on your CRM for KV Core, it will pop up and say, you have a new registration, a new buyer looking in Gwinnett County. They've looked at this property, and here's their email address. And so now you can reach out to that person because you hopefully will have their email and phone number and name, and or you can continuously send them updates through KV Core. That CRM has a lot of ways to automatically reach out to them. So auto email, somebody's looking at a property, maybe it's 2 a.m. Well, you can have it set up at 2:05, 5 minutes after they register, that they get an email from you introducing you or saying, hey, I'd love to help you with the process. Please let me know if you have any questions about that home. You can do a lot of nice things through there that while you sleep, it's working, or while you're with other clients, it's working for you. But that's how that full circle would work, right? You found the listing that you have, you're sharing it, they're clicking on it through Facebook, they're going back to your website, now they're registering, now you're able to contact them. So that's kind of the full loop picture of why you would want to do it and how you would do it. And that one was organic unless you did the boost. So you can share those organically. You have an audience, they click on it, they share it, whatever. Or if you did the boost, that's a way you can do it through there. And we did have a question about the FMLS Georgia MLS sites. So I tried it with the FMLS Remind site. You can share the listing. They will go back to the page and it has your info. The only downside is their client registration part of it is a little clunky for the user. If they filled it out completely, yes, you should get that information, but it's a little more clunky for the user. And my fear would be that user might just abandon that page and then take the address and go to Zillow. And so, you want the user experience obviously has to be easy enough for the user, and nice enough so that they're not leaving that page and going somewhere else. But of course, yes, it should work the same. It's a little more clunky. So just knowing that, take it for what it's worth. But that would be a little comparison of those two programs. All right, so paste the URL, key feature there, delete out that URL. Now, if you delete the URL and the picture disappears, call yourself timeout, restart, because it should not delete the picture. It should not delete the link. It should just, that's why you have to wait for it to, it'll say like processing photo or whatever, and it'll pop up and do that. There is a way in here that you can send the ad to yourself before you actually post it. But the other way to do it is, once it's posted, you should be able to have a button to see it and just make sure that that it populated the correct way. But that's the way to do it, the simplest form. There is a big system back in Facebook called Ads Manager, ADS, Ads Manager. We're not really going to focus on that today because that's if you mastered this what we're looking at today, that would be step 2. That would be part B for you to go look at. You can do a lot more with Ads Manager. You can choose a lot more. There's a lot more functionality built into it, but it is a it is a monster compared to this being a cute cuddly teddy bear. So this is a lot easier to work with at the beginning versus that. So this would be my recommendation to start, and then if you get really good at that, go to the next. So how do you boost that post we just looked at plus get it to Instagram? So what we just looked at right here is we took that listing, we created that post. Well, what happens if you already have a post that you've built? This one is for a property that was under construction. And so you shared this already with your organic business page, right? It's already on your page. Well, they make it really easy. Facebook loves to be able to make it easy for you to spend money with them. All that you have to do is find that post on your business page. And this is, again, the difference between personal page and business. You won't see this on your personal page, but on business, you'll see a button that says Boost Post. All you have to do is press that button. And once you do, you're going to get things pop up as long as your Instagram account is linked into Facebook. And that creation guide will kind of walk you through that. Then you can check this button right here to say Instagram. If you want it to go to Facebook Messenger, you can. I personally don't know a lot about marketing through Messenger. I don't like when I receive ads like that. I feel like it's a text message ad. And so I wouldn't recommend checking that box, but it's there. It's available for you to use. I definitely would have, it's going to have Facebook default checked. And then you have the option to do Instagram or Messenger. So if you just did these top two, Facebook and Instagram, or if you didn't have Instagram, you just did Facebook, you're going to be in a good spot. So that's the way to do the Boost plus Instagram. Again, audience broad, and then you can choose to have a budget of, you know, starting at $1 per day. Like again, it's very cost efficient for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to really maximize this listing and get the views, so again, you can show your seller, the current seller and future sellers, then you may spend more, you know, on that ad. Or if it's a really unique home, there's maybe only a pool of buyers that's really small, you might spend more to get it out to a broader audience, right? That's kind of another thing. A lot of reasons to do any of those things, but you have the option. Inside of KV Core, I want to show you this because again, I want to give you options of easy, and easy, easy buttons all around for all of this. Inside of KV Core, there's a function right here on the left. You can see it just says listings. So now you'll be able to pull up your listings inside of there. And then all that you really have to do is hit more actions and post to Facebook. So if you know, if you're like, hey, I already have KV Core, or I'm thinking about having a website, how can I get it from, you know, from there? It's already there. How do I get it to my Facebook from that point? All you have to do is click post to Facebook, and then it's going to create this for you. So it's going to bring the featured photo that you have. It's going to bring the website. It's going to bring the first line of the property. And then you can choose where to share it. Share it to my feed. And then I'm going to click the post button. So you can say something about it, click the post button, and now it posts to your Facebook page. So you didn't even have to take from the URL to Facebook and then post, even though that was only 3 steps. This is, you know, even easier, right? So, you know, whatever way you're thinking about, and if you have questions about doing this part, especially in KV Core, call me after, email me after, whatever, you know, whatever works best for you, and we can talk about it. I just want to show you how easy it is if you do it kind of manually through your website, and then how easy it is even inside of a lot of these platforms like KV Core. You can also post to Twitter, Pinterest, Craigslist. You can boost the property through them, which means you know, you kind of pay them to run ads. So even if you're like, hey, I do want to run ads, I don't want to run the ads, then there's that option too, right? So all of that's there. And I did have a couple of questions about what if you don't have listings, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. We're going to talk about that, because that is kind of a common question, right? And we'll go through how you can do that. The answer is it's good news. So we'll go through that piece. Property listings, here is that boost property. Just want to show what that looks like. So you have your listing inside of the KV Core platform. You click boost property, and then it's going to pop up and say, is it a listing, open house, price reduced, or sold? You know, what type of ad do you want to run? You click listing, it's going to pop up. You can add the just listed little banner there. And then this is the ad that is auto created, you know, for you. And so you can look at it on, if you click that little computer, it's the computer. If you click that, it's like cell phone, what it's going to look like on the cell phone. But it's you can choose to have the price or not price. Some people say they want people to click on it and drive back traffic. And if they're, you know, considering, if they know the price, they might not click on it. But if they didn't know the price, they're like, oh, I wonder how much that is. Then they might click on it. I mean, that's completely up to you to do. And so when they click on this ad, now it drops back to your listing inside of your website. And so that's a really easy way to do it. And then it's going to pop up and say, how much do you want to spend? So again, this is even further to the easy button. I want to spend $60. It's going to run for 7 days. This says it will be seen up to 2,000 times, you know, inside of that platform. But you might have better or worse results depending if you run it directly through your Facebook. But this is what they are saying they will run it for that. So again, just another easy button to be able to do that. So any questions about, or let me ask it this way. Is there anyone here who has not run an ad on Facebook business page that thinks that is undoable for them? And please let me know, because I would love to help you even after this class if that's the case. because I think it's important if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then obviously it's not. But if you do want to do it, but you think that sharing that listing or your listing is overwhelming, you don't have to raise your hand. You can always email me after or call me after. I want to help you be able to do that. That was if you go to Facebook. If you post to Instagram through Facebook, if you go to Facebook or Instagram, or we'll talk a little bit about YouTube. It's kind of its own thing here shortly. But what if you don't want to do that? What if you say, I don't have enough time to go in there every day, or 2 days a week, or 4 days a week, or whatever, to post? I don't have enough time to do this. I have other things going on in my life. Maybe you're a part-time agent, maybe you have kids, or maybe you're all kinds of different things, right? Where we don't have time. So I'm about to show you a tool here. If you probably take one thing from this class, and it's this tool, I think you'll be happy. If you haven't heard of this system, and there's a few out there, but I like this one. I used it, so that's why I'm showing you, is because I know it. It's called later.com. And when I share these slides with you, you'll be able to just click here and go to their website. But that's all it is, later.com. This is their screenshot. You can create a free account and do a lot with their free account. If you want to upgrade, I think it's like $9 or $11 for the per month if you want to go to the premium step up, which you can share videos and things like that. But I'll show you how this right here can save you about it can save you so much time that maybe you'll only have to do your social media once every 2 weeks or once every month. And so really, when I say game changer, I don't use that loosely. Like, it really is a game changer for you when you're doing your social media stuff. So what happens here is this is a scheduler for you for your social media. I'm going to show you an actual screenshot, but I just want you to see like how they display it. So here are all of your social media accounts. Just pretend that this is actually your accounts all listed here, and you can see all of these photos here are photos that you've added. And then over to the right, you see a calendar, and essentially it's going to be a scrolling, calendar, week, month, whatever you're looking at. And all that you do is click what accounts you want this to post to go in. So maybe you select these top 3. You take your photo that you've already uploaded and you drag it to whatever day and time that you want that picture to go out to those networks, right? So that's the basic concept. Just think about that. You upload a bunch of pictures, download Agent Icon for the last 2 weeks, go put all the Agent Icon pictures in there from the last 2 weeks, and then go into this system and drag and drop when you want those to be actually sent to and posted to your social media account. So now you're not even inside of Facebook or inside of Instagram posting. You're just on this desktop dragging and dropping photos and saying post here. I don't think it gets easier than that. This is a short video where I'm actually in my account showing you literally how to drag and drop a photo. So think about if you're opening another folder on your computer and you're just dragging and dropping them, and you'll see they'll load the 2 in the top left. So I'm just dragging and dropping Agent Icon photos into the system. Now just drag and drop that photo from the database over there. Make sure you have your networks, type a caption. So this is actually a listing that you might have, just listed, whatever you want to say about that property. I like emojis in there. I think it brightens it up a little bit. So now it's going to say customize. So you can actually go in Instagram, customize that post, Facebook, customize that one, because they do format a little differently. Facebook lets you put links, Instagram doesn't, or from my knowledge, it doesn't. And then Twitter, you might do more hashtags. If you're doing Pinterest, you might post it a little bit differently, but you can customize each one of them. You can even change the picture if maybe one's better for Instagram, one's better for Facebook, whatever you want to do. But once you finish doing that, customizing it the way you want it to look on each of those platforms, all you have to do is go hit save these 3 posts. And you can see up here at the top, I'd already picked the time because I dragged that picture to there. But now you can see on your calendar, there are 3 posts going out. The different colors coordinate back to that platform. So now if you go back in there and you check it out again, maybe you want to move it, you just pick the calendar, pick the time, You can tag people, you can add a location, which is really good for some social media. That's kind of like part two for everything. But you can see here, now you've got your monthly view. And now you just keep doing it. There's one I'm just dragging from Agent Icon, want it to post 2 weeks from now. So now you're going to type about that, right? And maybe that one's just just an emoji. Maybe you're really short on time. So you just post that, and you don't want to change anything, so you just save that, right? That post is going to go get post to all three of those platforms. So I think that might be yeah. So that's the end of that video. That's how easy this platform makes it to now post, and you don't even have to be in your account. You probably want to be there for when people chat with you and comment on pictures and thank yous and things like that. But this makes it where Sunday night, Wednesday afternoon, whatever your time is, where you're like, hey, during the week I have 30 minutes that I can dedicate to my social media for the next 2 weeks, or an hour for the next 4 weeks. This is how you can this is how you can cheat time, in my opinion, right? Like, there's very few things out there where you're like, wow, this leverages my time times 100, right? And that's what this platform does. So load it up with pictures, load it up with Agent Icon. You can even do things where it's like pictures of you and clients. Maybe you had a closing today, and so today, maybe 2 days from now, is the day you have as your social media time. Then 2 days from now, just drag that picture in there and drop it for tomorrow or the next day after, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be posted the exact moment you closed, and all of that stuff. So you can even have pictures of you can also do Agent Icon agent promo, right? So you can download a whole bunch of those that promote you with your headshot, and then scatter those in there too, right? But I mean, this is kind of the easiest way to do it. There is the free part of it that lets you do pictures. The paid version actually lets you do videos and like multiple, on Instagram, how you can have like multiple pictures where you swipe on one post. It'll let you do that, and videos. And so if you do a lot of videos for your listings or videos for yourself to promote your real estate business, you can actually even schedule videos. So a lot of really nice things in here. You can do it every week if you want. You can do it, every 2 weeks or 4 weeks, but it's up to you. You have that flexibility. So for me, that one is kind of the highlight of today. All right, so let's look at some other platforms outside of Facebook and Instagram. Number one being YouTube. Video, I think we all know, just if you're on social media for about what the average person, 95 minutes, even if you're on there for 5 minutes, you probably see that these platforms like Facebook and Instagram prefer video because they know engagement is higher on video than picture. Typically those are the ones you're seeing first in a lot of ways, right? Or you're seeing the reels and the stories and the whatever things that they call it, but it's all geared towards video. And so the great thing about adopting YouTube is that not only is it only video, but then you can take that video and share it on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook and Instagram, right? And you probably have the video like on your cell phone, talking about the property, talking about the community, talking about the new restaurant in the area, tons of different things, right? As real estate agents, we get to talk about. But that is a really great way to start, is to open up a YouTube channel, and that page I'm going to give you later shows you how to do it. But I would highly recommend that because that is you talk about a search feature. Well, Google owns YouTube. So when somebody types your name in as they're researching you to be their real estate agent versus someone else, and they type your name in and you have a YouTube channel, an Instagram channel, Facebook, whatever else, Zillow, and everything else that pops up with real estate agents. And then they can go to YouTube and digitally get to know you through your YouTube real estate videos. That's a huge win for you. I mean, that's sets you apart for sure from other agents. I don't know what the stats are on that. I'd love to know it. It'd be a big study to find that out for real estate agents on YouTube. But I would imagine it's less than 3%. I don't know, maybe not even 1% of all of real estate agents having a YouTube channel. So if you talk about ways to separate yourself, don't let knowledge of technology hinder you on that, because just like Facebook, YouTube makes it really easy to post videos on there. You can do it right from your cell phone through the YouTube app. It will say upload a video, onto my channel. So we won't go through all of that here, but I want you to know how important that is. LinkedIn's another platform. I wouldn't get too deep in all of these platforms. I'd start at Facebook. You feel good about that, go to Instagram. You feel good about that, go to YouTube. Or if you're already video heavy and you're like, hey, I want to jump right into video, then you might go YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. But don't let it complicate your life with all of this. But LinkedIn is one that some agents use, and it's fairly easy to use. TikTok is another one. Obviously, that's the fastest growing social media platform in the world. And so we'll look at a little stat on that one. Pinterest it is odd because you can actually have a business account there and run ads. Not a lot of people really think about Pinterest being that for their real estate business, but there are real estate agents who generate leads and have a community there. If you think about it, it kind of is an organic way to share great pictures of beautiful homes that you are listing. And so don't count that one out. It might be a sleeper if you're kind of in that world where you are really connected with a group already, maybe in Pinterest. Then make yourself a Pinterest business account. And then video, we kind of talked about it, but what do you put on video, right? Why does anyone want to listen to you on video? Well, tons of reasons. You're a real estate expert. And so the next step is, well, what do I say? Well, Derek has created videos on our YouTube channel of is the market changing and home prices in Atlanta. Go watch his videos and take some of that content. Derek is fantastic on video, so please don't compare yourself if it's your first video. That was my mistake when I first got on the team here. I saw Derek make a video live, and I was like, he didn't even do a cut. It was all continuous, like one 2-minute conscious, information, and it was perfect. And I was like, I can't do that. So I was like, I'd start, cut. So don't worry where you start from and how you sound and how you look. The funniest thing I ever heard somebody say when people were talking to them about, oh, I don't like how I sound on video or look on video. They said, well, I hate to tell you, but that's how you look and that's how you sound. And so it's like if you want people to meet you and buy and sell with you, they're going to meet you, right? Like don't let something internal keep you from reaching people. And really, if you think about it like that, we all have great information and knowledge, and whether it's about the neighborhood or the community or the area or mortgage rates or whatever it is. And so don't let yourself keep you from sharing that with people who probably need to hear it. And it's better that they hear it from you as a professional than maybe some of their friends who are not real estate professionals. So that's that piece. The word about TikTok, US teens favorite social platform. We probably all thought that, but you can look here. It started 2020 at 13%, of the share of, this is an average of 16-year-olds right here. And so you can see it quickly shot up above Instagram, and then just recently took over Snapchat. So as popular, almost 50% back here as Snapchat was, TikTok has exploded through there. And if we know anything about social media platforms and you followed them over the years, typically what happens is the younger generation, hypes it up and it gets really popular, and then the older generations follow. And so if you think about it like that, it could be something where TikTok, ends up being a little bit of an older generation's model as we go, just like Facebook did, just like Instagram did. I remember a time when I don't know that anyone over 30 was on Instagram, and then all of a sudden everyone was. And the same really for Facebook, right? If we all remember when Facebook first started, it took a while, and then it was the young generation, and then it moved up. And same with Instagram. TikTok may not, just because it's a little more video heavy, but again, if you're dedicated to doing video, there actually are some real estate agents who make really good videos through their educational content pieces, but they also get a lot of leads through there organically because people watch their real estate videos, and there's not a lot of real estate competition there. So if you think about it, it could be a really good untapped market for you if you're looking to expand your business. So I wouldn't count that one out just because it seems like it's a little younger audience, because there are really some great ways to market yourself there. Google Business. So we didn't really jump into that on today's class, but I want you to know about it. Having a presence there as a real estate agent, when someone Googles your information, is going to be really helpful because it'll pop up on the right with a picture of you. You can get reviews there. You have descriptions, and you can post things to that also. again, start with Facebook, Instagram, and then this would be third, tied with like YouTube. Or if you don't want to deal with any of the Facebook and Instagram, you would go straight here, would be my recommendation, because you can get reviews there like you can on Facebook. Let's go over some best practices as you're thinking about this, and then we're actually going to practice. So your page name. So instead of naming your page Amy Smith Realty or Amy Smith, Realty Services or something like that, you would want to name it Amy Smith, Realtor, or Amy Smith, Real Estate Agent. The reason is that you do not want to give off the impression that you are a brokerage. That is and can be a direct violation. And the way they'll look at it is that you were deceiving the public, that if someone had an issue with you, that they thought you were the broker and there was no one to go say, hey, I'm having an issue with this agent. So it's kind of like a checks and balances type thing. So just think about that. Not using, you definitely don't want to use the realty at the end of your name, unless unless it is a real firm that has your name like that. So sharing a specific listing. So this is where we were talking about that a lot. So if you do not have listings, or maybe you have listings and you've maxed those out, and now you're like, I want to actually share a listing that another solid source agent has, because it's beautiful, it's in the area that I want to work in, or I know maybe I have some buyers and I want to help promote it, whatever it is like that. Here are our recommendations for that. Greg doesn't get too deep into this. However, you have to be aware of a couple of things. It has to be shared from an IDX feed. The reason being is if you share a picture of that property as a single picture, you downloaded it from MLS or whatever like that, that is a copyright infringement, and you could be looking at a huge fine for that, because technically the photographer took the picture, sold it to the agent probably in that scenario, and then that agent used it on behalf of the seller. And so if you go take that picture, even if they say sure, use that picture from the MLS, I would never do that. Okay, just as a heads up. Let's go back to our IDX feed. We already have a complimentary way to do it, or through KV Core, and grab the actual IDX feed information. So here are our requirements for that. As a professional courtesy, send that agent a text message. Hey, your home at that home you have listed at 123 Main Street. It's beautiful. I'd love to promote it on my Facebook business page. Professional courtesy, for that. We think everyone would agree on both sides. If you have the listing, you would appreciate it. And then always share from the IDX. So really, that's it. There's not a ton of rules behind it. When you do go to post it on Facebook, inside of the words, you could say, take a look at this stunning 5-bed 4-bath, whatever. You've shared the link from the IDX feed, right? So it's not just a still picture. And so when somebody clicks on it, they will go to an actual page about that, but it can be on your website, right? So it doesn't have to be the listing agent's website, because just kind of the back end of how that works, brokerages have a broker to broker agreement through the IDX feed to be able to share listings like that, right? So you're not violating as long as you go through the IDX feed. And then we say, as a courtesy, professional courtesy, to send a text to that listing agent. So that's how you would do that. Not any more complicated than that, but that's how you could share listings if you do not have listings. I would, we recommend, to try to stay within the solid source family as much as possible. Just because, if you get outside of there could be agents that are like, oh, that's not how we do it, or that's not our broker's policy, or this and that. And so there are so many listings within solid source. You can go view all of them on Georgia MLS or FMLS as you're searching, and find one that you would want to promote, or you might see it on Facebook already or something and say, I'd love to share that. Those are the requirements for that. IDX and send a text as a professional courtesy. So any questions about that? I know that's been a kind of a hot topic, especially among agents who are getting into social media and what do I share? I'd love to share listings, but I don't have one. Is that easy enough criteria, or does that actually complicate it because it's so step 1, 2? All right, we'll keep moving then. If you have anything, just send it in the chat box, and then never share a specific photo. So IDX feeds can be shared. One other feature that you can do, like through your website, especially through like a KV Core, is you go search on your website page for all homes in Alpharetta with a pool. That's just an example. change it to whatever you want. There's another one, all McDonough homes with a full basement. So you go search right on your website, like you're a client. Okay, I'm going to search Alpharetta. I'm going to check pool in the filter box. You get that page where it shows all the results, and you go copy that URL. And now you can share that URL to Facebook and say, see all homes in Alpharetta with a pool, summertime's coming up, and look at all these homes with a pool in Alpharetta. Now you share that to social media, to Facebook or whatever. Facebook would be the prime example in that one. And now when people click on there, they go back to that page you had searched for with all homes in Alpharetta with a pool, but they're on your website. And so it's a really nice way to kind of think about that. Maybe, McDonough homes with a full basement, or, maybe you work in or are near an area that has like a lot of golfers or something like that. So all homes, you don't want a golf course, or all homes with a lake view, or anything that you can think of that is searchable in the MLS, you can search for on your website and share. And so you do not have to have permission to that, because you're sharing a group of listings from an IDX feed. So that one's even easier to share those types of listings. It's probably more of a supplement, to whatever you're doing in your social media. But I think it's a good habit and somewhere to start if you want to kind of start with those things. All right, y'all, it's practice time. We can't get around it anymore. How this part's going to work right here is if you have a picture of a house on your cell phone, and if you don't worry, you can send any picture to this platform. It's not going to a human that I know of. It just goes to an automated system that then kicks you back the photos. But this is what Agent Icon looks like. And if you have done it before, but it's been a while, I'm going to ask that you still participate. If you do it all the time, now's a coffee break for you. But all that you have to do in order to do this is just open up your cell phone and open up your camera app, and just go over to the screen, the computer screen. And if you're Solid Source Realty, it's the one on the left. If you're Solid Source Realty Georgia, it's the one on the right. And just let your camera find that picture, and it should pop up with a yellow bar across the bottom that says flow code. Now, if it doesn't do that on either of these two QR codes, then there's a setting inside your phone that says allow QR codes through the camera. Okay. All that you have to do is actually attach a picture and hit send. And then once you do that, that's where the magic happens. You'll end up getting a link back from them that says, click here, your pictures are ready, your images are ready. And then that's where you'll download and have that. The next one is the agent promo. Let me try that one. So this one is actually of you. So what you'll do on this one, the same thing. So on this one is actually a picture of you that you would text, and it's going to bring back a lot of different things related to promoting you as the agent. That's how easy it is to do yours as an agent promo. Some of the images that come back, it might be better if your picture's in the middle, or maybe a little bit to the left or right. So depending on which one you really like out of that suite, you might adjust your photo that you text just so that it's for that. But that is for the agent promo side. The other was for the listing side, but all should be ready to go. Again, I'm going to breeze past this one so we can get to the next part, but you'll have these slides at the end. So next steps, if you haven't created your business profiles, I'm going to give you the page to do that. And next steps, create one video. How's the market? You can get that from absorption reports, market stats. You can check Derek's videos and share some of his information. What's new in name your city, Roswell. What is there a new restaurant coming, a new school, a new park? Those are easy ideas to share different things. And then share a listing, your own, or if you're sharing someone else's listing, sending a text message as a professional courtesy. So those are very easy next steps, to be able to really catapult yourself into this, especially if you haven't before. And those are those things. So this is actually the how-to guide. It's going to be PDF. If you have it on your phone, there's going to be a few things you can do with it. You can email it to yourself, you can download it, or you can use it on your phone, zoom in and click on the links. But there's going to be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Business, TikTok, and then later.com, how to set up that account. If you want to sign up for KV Core, all you have to do is scan that QR code. It'll take you there. Solid Source channel, our YouTube channel is there. Solid Source Connect, which is our resources website. And then the Agent Icon QR codes, and then the solid source broker contact information. A couple things to remember: you can do this. If you if you're not an expert yet, you will get better, and play the long game. Right? There's no overnight success in this. Even though it might seem like it on some of the accounts we look at, you can do it.